So now let's talk about how you can memorize important sines, cosines, tangents, and cotangents. And let's start with sine and cosine. They're pretty simple. Basically, for both of those, you're going to have to write 2 for the denominator. So let's start with sine. So it's 2 for all these angles from 9 to 90. I'm sorry, from 0 to 90. So, and for all those, you're going to have a square root. So for this, 30, 45, for 60, for 90. And for sine, you're gonna go from 0 to 1. So 0 for 0, 1 for 30, and 2 for 45, and 3 for 60, and 4 for 90. So you know that sine 0 is 0. So square root 0 is 0, then over 2, that's 0. Then square root 1 is 1, and 1 over 2 is 1 over 2. And that's sine 30. And for 45 and 60, you're going to leave them like that. And for 90, so that's square root 4, that's 2. 2 over 2 is 1. So that's sine. For cosine, it's the exact same thing. So square root over 2, that's for everything here. But for cosine, you're going to go the other way. So you're going to go down from 4 to 0. So 4, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1, and this is 0. And for a tangent, you can do a bunch of things. So you know that tangent theta equals sine theta over cosine theta? Well, you can do the trick I'm going to show for both tangent and cotangent. So let's write down cotangent theta. You know that cotangent theta is 1 over tangent theta, or cosine theta over sine theta. And so the easiest angles for tangent and cotangent are 0, 45, and 90, because you know that tangent 0 is sine 0 over cosine 0, and you know that sine 0 is 0, so 0 over any number is 0, so tangent 0 is going to be 0. And for tangent 90, you know that cosine 90 is 0, so no matter what the sine theta is, well, no matter what the sine 90 is in our case, that number over 0, it's going to be, infinity or undefined. And for tangent 45, so for a right triangle with 90, 45, 45, you know that this is a, and, tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that's going to be a over a, which is 1. Or, that sine 45 and cosine 45 are equal, so sine 45 over cosine 45, it's like a over a, which is 1, and that's that. And for cotangent, for cotangent 45 is cosine 45 over sine 45. Since they're equal, that's going to be 1, 2. And for cotangent 0, it's, that cotangent 0 is cosine 0 over sine 0. And since sine 0 is 0, and since, any number over 0 is infinity or undefined, that's going to be undefined. And for cotangent 90, you know that cotangent is cosine over sine, and we know that cosine 90 is 0, so 0 over any number is 0. For 30 and 60, well, they're not tricky, but compared to these, you have to kind of memorize them. But if you don't want to memorize them, you can always draw a 90, 30, 60 triangle. And for any 90, 60, 30 triangle, this is going to be A. So the side that is opposite to 30 is going to be A, and the hypotenuse is going to be It's going to be 2a, and this side is going to be a square root 3. So you know that let's say for 30, you know that tangent is opposite over adjacent. So for 30, opposite is a. So this is tangent 30. That's a over the adjacent is a root 3. That's gonna cancel. So that's 1 over root 3. And for cotangent 30, you know that cotangent is 1 over tangent. So that's going to be just 1 over this whole thing. So that's going to, the reciprocal of this is simply root 3. And for tangent, so tangent is, for tangent 60, we know that tangent is opposite over adjacent, which is a root 3 over a. This is tangent 60. And this is going to be just root 3. And we know that cotangent 60 is 1 over tangent 60. So this thing's going to be just 1 over root 3. So to recap, so for sine, you know that it's square root of something over 2, and the square root is basically goes from 0 to 4. So for 0, 0, for 31, for 45, that's 2, for 60, that's 3, for 90 is 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For cotangent, it's just the same thing, but reversed. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And for tangent, tangent 0 is 0, tangent 45 is 1, tangent 90 is undefined, and for 30 and 60, tangent 30 is 1 over root 3. The tangent 60 is root 3. So for cotangent, you can just reverse the order of tangent. So if tangent 0 is 0, then cotangent 90 is going to be 0. And if tangent 90 is undefined, then cotangent 0 is going to be undefined. So we just reverse the order. So cotangent is just the inverse of tangent. I'm not talking about like this inverse thing mathematically. I'm just talking in the realm of this table. And for the cosine is just the reverse order of sine. That's how you can memorize important sines and cosines, tangents and cotangents. And if you don't like this trick, or if this doesn't help you, you can always draw a triangle and derive the values of trigonometric identities.